This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
So I'll start this meeting of the Commission on Disability. It's Thursday, November 9th at 11:11. And I am Eli Damon, the Vice Chair of the Commission. And why don't we go around and introduce ourselves? Why don't you start, Jeff?
Jeff Brown. I'm a member of the Commission, and I'm from Riverside.
My name is David. I'm from Riverside.
I'm Jeff Bagg. I'm the city planner, and I'm on the commission as well.
I came from Riverside.
Kara, you want?
I'm Kara and I'm from Riverside too.
I'm Bryce and I'm from Riverside.
Yeah.
Okay, welcome everybody.
Bryce is also a voting member.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, Bryce, you're also a member of the commission, right? Okay. Let's see. So,
Do you want to introduce the people online?
oh, yes, I apologize. Yeah. Could the people online, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Stan Diamond, attending from home as a member of the commission.
I'm Louise Jacob, new member of the commission from Ed.
All right, welcome. Okay, so let's see.
Wake up, Dave.
Angelique was gonna have the
Not him.
some minutes. We don't have minutes right now to vote on. Oh,
What that noise?
that's probably her. Hi, Angelique.
Oh my God.
Okay, I've started the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
So sorry.
it's okay. All right. See you. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So that is Angelique. She had some trouble, but she'll be here in a minute. But we will keep going. So,
Yeah, good job.
is anyone here for public speak? So that's to make any comments that don't relate to something that's on the agenda. No.
Do you want to say something about what happened when you were trying to get here?
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Yeah, Jeff, why don't you do it? I'm like you are. Well, I forgot what it's called, but it's traffic. It's across the street. It's hard to get from there to here, and it's not easy to get over from there to here, and it's hard for us.
Yeah.
You know.
I also have a comment for public speak that it's barely accessible. Someone had to move a pipe just so we could get off the
Today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so we could get on the street to cross around the construction equipment, and the police officer had to escort us around. There are many other times I'm able to go up the back, out the back entrance and kind of circumvent that mess.
Yeah.
But that would not have worked for Bryce.
Boy.
Going up that hill and stuff. And it's just these,
And it's because we're looking out the window. I mean, it's right in front of
Right.
the entrance to Riverside, and it's blocking the crosswalk over here.
And I'm just, whatever's happening should be expeditious. And it hasn't been.
Oh, wow. Unbelievable.
Yeah. And it's, there's just,
Oh my God.
if they're gonna keep that, they should just put another curb cut in closer.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Right.
Yeah.
What I would suggest, Eli, for the time being is if we can ask Angelique to put Union Street construction on the agenda for the next meeting, so then I think it can be a conversation. So
Yeah.
technically
that's
with public speak, it's for the commission to decide if whatever's being said should go on an agenda to be discussed. I think one of the questions that I would like to ask is so we can get a better understanding of how long they're going to be at that intersection. My general understanding is that they're going to be stopping construction at some point for the winter, but it's going to start again in the spring.
I would, as the town's ADA coordinator, I would suggest that a curb cut has to be in there first. This
Right.
clearly has to be a violation of something,
Safety. Right.
Yeah, that's what we
agree
should
with
talk about at the
that.
next meeting and find
Yeah.
out if the
I agree
ADA
with
coordinator
that,
can actually do anything about that, but.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, yeah. Okay.
I'm up at that too.
Any other comments, public speak comments?
Kara, you have any thoughts on anything that's been
That was the one.
affecting you about accessibility?
The other day I went to the library. There's a set of sidewalks that are super bumpy. They're very bumpy.
Like the Emily Wilson Library.
Yeah.
Going towards there, I think you're talking about School Street is the one the one that connects Tandem Bagel to Park Street. Is that School Street or is that Center Street or?
I don't think,
I believe it's Center.
Center, okay.
oh, right, yes.
But it's real bumpy,
Yep,
the sidewalks.
agreed.
Yes, I mean, I think Eli did the presentation to the city council and identified sidewalks as one of the major
Yeah.
issues.
Yeah. All right, so let's see, moving on. We had a speaker scheduled from Mass Hire, but they are not here, so we'll skip them. We have our agenda item, Parks and Rec Easthampton. Jeff, do you know what Jeff Bag, do you know what that's about?
Let me wait here.
Accessible playground.
I think it would be better. Is Angelique coming?
She said she'll be here soon.
Okay.
All
I
right,
think it was about the pool and the playground that Jeff just mentioned and getting an update on that project, but I don't know anything else about.
all right,
Yeah.
we'll come back to that one.
I see it right here.
We have,
After Riverside.
oh, what's that?
I see something outside of Riverside.
Yeah, the construction, we just talked about that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so recruiting issue, need new members. Does anyone have any thoughts about recruiting new members? And in particular, we still don't have a clerk, so that's still a big problem.
I mean, I suggested to Kara, now that she's back in program, that she likes it. I think it would be a good fit. You used to be on the board at Riverside too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I didn't like that at all.
You didn't like it?
No,
Why?
because they were just talking, or the board is just like talking about Riverside and lots of like numbers, and it was very too complex.
Thank you.
What, the board meeting at Riverside?
Let me know how this feels afterwards and we can talk.
I'll tell you afterwards.
Okay.
By the way, Stan and Louise, if you have to say something, if you have something to say, just speak up, because I'm doing two things at once and I can't watch for your hands.
So Eli, in terms of the membership, I was just looking online, so there is 5 seats that are vacant, right? This is what's online,
That's
so there's
right. So we have 8 we have 13 seats total, and we have 8 of them filled, so yeah,
Correct.
5
Right.
of them empty.
I mean, the good news is that 8 is a strong number, so you have a higher chance of getting a quorum of the 8. But the fact that there's 5 open seats is something that I know people have worked on tabling and trying to get people to consider signing up. So I don't know, Angelique, if you just arrived, if you have any more on that, like recruiting.
I don't, we just haven't, we gotta get over to the winter, see if we can do the winter fair, not the winter fair, but
Farmers.
farmer's market, that's what.
Yeah, so we have an open invitation to table at the farmers market.
But we need our own table, or?
They probably have tables there, but I haven't
Yeah, we haven't.
made sure.
Could we store a table in the community room? There's a room, there's like kind of a community room at Eastworks, right?
I don't really know. to be
No, the
honest.
one across from Rick's. There's that room that occasionally gets used for functions, but it's mostly empty.
Yeah.
I have a table in principle, but it's stuck in Cheshire right now, so I can't use it.
I wonder just if the timing of the meeting, it favors, it favors certain people with disabilities
Right.
over others,
That's,
So part of it is that we also need, and yeah, we can't be doing it. You already have meetings at 6 at night all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, I mean, if that was the ultimate way to get new members, then that should be a good conversation.
Yeah.
That should be a conversation, but I think it hasn't never
Yeah,
really
it's
been
never.
the key
Yeah.
to getting, 5 new members. If you talk to 5 people and they all said they would sign up, if the time was in the evening, then I would do
Different
that with
story,
you guys,
yeah.
yes, but.
yeah, so there are people who either don't work or would participate as part of their job, and they would need it to be during business hours. And then there are people who do work and who would not be participating as part of their job, and they would want it to be outside of business hours. And there's kind of no way we can accommodate both of them.
Yep, the magic
Yeah.
of meetings.
Yeah. Yep, you're on TV, Jeff.
Yeah.
So there was a person that's applying that was gonna come today, and she just sent me
Okay.
let me see, her name is,
Hello, me.
something came about Courtney, Schmerz. So,
Good
she was gonna
Lord.
come today. I'm not quite sure if she already filled out the paperwork. I think she may have, but anyway, she had something come up, so she couldn't make it.
Okay,
But that's a potential.
I'm
all
sorry.
right. Well, that'll be good to have her. And
Oh,
again, I don't know what we're gonna do about the clerk issue, because it seems like even the people who are interested in joining aren't prepared to
Well, right,
serve
yeah,
as the clerk.
right,
that's yeah, to me.
right. Well, we still, I mean, we have the printout. We're supposed to use it, we're allowed to use the printout, right?
The
From that.
printout,
But that's still like line by line. That's not
yeah.
that's a lot.
All right. If I had access to like a tablet or something like that, I could, or a laptop, I could maybe try to do notes while I'm doing this. But,
Like temporarily.
well, yeah, I could see how it felt,
Okay, I can bring my laptop next time.
but yeah, if I was signed in and I could do that, so you wouldn't, yeah.
You a fast typer?
No,
No.
No.
You're gonna, you're so sweet then. Like, how are you gonna pay attention
I'm
if you
not.
have the hen pecking?
I'm not, it's gonna be, my notes are it's gonna be very cursory notes. I don't,
Yes, yeah,
You see how
that's okay. That's how that's how we do our minutes.
It's
these
like
days,
every-
right?
Yeah, that would be so helpful, Jeff.
yeah, I mean, it would be like, intersection bed will be on next agenda. You know, it's like, you know, it's not gonna, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, find out.
okay.
I see Stan looks like he's raising his hand up.
Oh, yeah,
He might say.
I just wanted to suggest that if you give the person taking the minutes access to the recording, they can do the minutes based on, what was recorded.
It's true, but
It would be.
that's asking them to
Yeah.
watch it another whole hour.
I don't know that I would have the bandwidth to do
Okay.
that.
Just a thought.
My after work is pretty.
You're like, I'm barely here to be in there. No, it's a
Yeah.
lot. It's a lot to stop your work in the middle of the day. Do a meeting.
I think the more I take on, the more leverage I'll have to be like looking into it.
yeah, well,
But that's also going to backfire occasionally.
yeah, well, if any of you have come up with any ideas after this, please let us know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, it's so fun out there.
All
You
right,
want to join them?
so also Angelique, while you were,
Yeah.
there were some,
Always having my crisis, yes.
yeah, there was that too. There was, some public speak comments about the construction and how it's made it hard to cross the street.
Okay.
And so we thought we should put that on the agenda for next week and maybe get someone who can answer questions about it. And if you could take over the agenda from here, that would be great. We are,
We skipped the park and rec question.
Yes.
It wasn't exactly clear what that was.
yeah, so we skipped over parks and if you
Well,
could take-
because I thought he was coming and then I got a message that he's out this week, so he's not coming. And then the other person that was on there from this place called Mask Hire, he was also coming, and then he didn't answer me the past 2 days, up until even calling on the way here, like, so those two people didn't work out for this meeting, so just skip over that.
Okay. Oh,
There is no update on the accessibility ordinance. I keep asking Omar like once a month, twice a month, like where we're at,
Yeah.
and he hasn't responded, so,
So
Yeah.
I don't have an update.
it seemed like have you met Kara, by the way?
No.
She's Kara,
Hi,
who's
nice to meet you.
just returning to our half of the program, and and I brought her, and she's awesome, and
You're awesome, that's,
yeah,
love it.
but I did say that, like, if she thought this was something she would be interested in, she would be good as a voting member of anything she decided she was interested in.
Okay.
So that said, do you want to explain what the accessibility ordinance is?
Absolutely. So,
yeah, and for the general public's benefit, it would be good if even if there wasn't anyone present, it would be good if we explained
yeah.
our agenda items.
So the accessibility ordinance is something that we thought we would work on. It's around, wow, that is a lot. That's a lot. Events in Easthampton listing what kind of accessibility options they have for people, and also having a contact person to to call, email, what have you, to ask about your specific accommodations that you would need, because it'd be really hard to list every single accommodation. So it's more of a specific thing. And so the way that works, to create an ordinance is you have to go through the city councilors, and somebody has to agree that they'll work on it with you, and then vote it in. So what it might look like is, if there's a gathering at one of the restaurants, it might say that they have a ramp or I don't even know, like an audible something, right? And then
accessible bathrooms.
yeah,
Maybe some accommodations like headphones if it was if it was a text to speech or something.
Large print menu, like something like that. And then if you don't see what you need on there, there's a contact person, so you can ask them if they have what you need.
So we're trying to make a rule where everywhere in Easthampton would have to have that, or have to work on having that.
Or at least everything associated with the city government.
Yes, so we're only supposed to do that, but I have big dreams.
I think you can attach it to liquor licenses or performance licenses and
That would be great.
have a scope that way as well, you know, because I mean, that's how 504 worked. They attached it to anything remotely associated with anything, you know, or anything that.
Yeah. Is that something is that a power the city has? Like our liquor license is a state thing?
Oh, I don't know.
I always thought they were city things.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
No idea, my friend.
Yeah, I think different towns have,
Yeah.
because I'm on, I just joined a co-op that's trying to establish a new performance space, and in Easthampton or another town. And one of the comments I heard that Tom Buke said was that Holyoke is trickier because of different restrictions, and Holyoke specifically being full, and so I don't know. So I would extrapolate from that there's some amount of city control.
So is this performance space thing something that you would want to talk about at a future meeting?
Not really. I mean,
Okay.
unless it happens.
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
you know, and unless it's in Easthampton, and I mean, yeah. But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I just, you know, pretty much paid money and I read the Discord. You know, I'm not really deeply involved in this.
Gotcha.
Is there a draft of the ordinance at all? Written? Is there anything written?
Yeah, they made me write something up, but this was, I feel like it was like 9 months or more ago, so I won't be able to find it that quick, but yeah, it was a quick. And then we wrote something real quick.
Yeah, I would be able to find it at home.
Yeah.
In my email.
He required that, and
Yeah.
then he said he was gonna go talk to oh shoot, I can't remember.
What, the ordinance committee?
Yeah, yes, he was gonna talk to the ordinance committee about the ordinance.
Oh, my friend.
Gosh, yes, I love when my brain's not working on camera. It's my favorite part.
Jimmy, I don't know why he tried.
Teamwork, thank you.
Sure.
You are a great mother, Mike.
Yeah,
That's Eli.
My Eli. That your name?
Eli, yes,
Eli.
yeah.
You do a good job, Mike. Eli.
right.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
yes.
You're welcome, my
We'll
friend.
keep them around.
Yeah. But you want to keep me here?
Oh, yeah, we're keeping you here.
Or you want
Yeah.
to put me on the roof?
Not today. That's not on the agenda.
Put behind it, you have to cook with my mom. Yeah. Chili, huh?
So maybe,
Oh, I tried.
I don't know. I'll write to Omar again, or maybe I'll call him or something. I'll see if they've
Okay.
talked about it at all.
All right.
All right.
And again, Stan and Louise, you can just speak up. You don't have to ask for permission to
Yeah.
speak here. All right. So next.
We need to make a survey subcommittee.
Yes,
So when we get more members, that's just a goal, right? So we can work on the next survey and if you weren't here, we did a survey, got some information from it, but when we were going through the survey, we realized we might want to ask some questions differently or additional questions, or it's our first try, so we don't have a date that we want it finished by, but
right. But yeah, it'd be nice if we could have a survey, I don't know, within a year, right?
yeah.
A follow-up survey.
So a lot of what this commission does is grant funded. So in order for, and I'm telling this mostly for you, Kara, but and for whoever's listening, a lot of what the commission does is grant funded. And government agency, the government or other agencies will give Easthampton money to work on things. But in order to get money to work on things like sidewalks, they need data that says these things are problems.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what the surveys are for. So pretty much, if enough people say, if like over half the people said the sidewalks are inaccessible, then we can look at that and then we can go to the state agency and give them that information, and they can say, and they can be like, oh, then it must be a problem. Here's $200,000, go fix sidewalks,
Yeah.
That is how it turned out, but that's not why we did it to begin with.
Yeah.
We just wanted to figure out what the problems
Yeah.
were.
It
I
wasn't,
just think it's interesting, can I say?
Oh,
I
yeah.
just think it's interesting that you have to check to get the problems fixed. Why don't you just fix it?
Oh, yeah.
money.
Money, yeah.
Money.
That's
Yeah.
what I don't like about
I know,
it.
right?
Exactly, right?
When there's something dangerous, I think just fix it.
Fix it. I know. It's so frustrating.
Yeah,
All the rules and regulations.
yeah.
I'm like you.
And us as a committee, we don't have a bank account or any money or anything. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that was kind of one of the point. So I tried to make, and when I presented the city council, is that, right, it's not just the survey, I thought the survey doesn't just show we have an infrastructure problem. I feel like it shows we have a policy problem.
Yep. So who knows what will come out of that, but hopefully they'll update us if something does.
Yeah.
Speaking of the survey, I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but were there things that we felt were missing? Is there something that needed to be on it, you think? It wasn't?
I apologize because I haven't been to the past couple meetings,
Yeah, that's
but
okay.
my recollection was that there were additional questions that the commission had talked about asking more in depth, maybe.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what they were, if there was a specific
me neither.
set of categories or something.
Oh, I didn't know if there's anything you needed specifically as the ADA.
No, I mean, just going back to the sidewalks, one thing that maybe can be done over the winter with this group is if we can come up with a list of maybe not necessarily the worst sidewalks, but the sidewalks that are bad, if they were improved, they would serve the largest number of people. Because I think that's, so the unfortunate reality is we can't just go fix all the sidewalks.
Right.
There's not enough time or money to do all the sidewalks. So the task is unfortunately always to prioritize which ones are, maybe they are, which one's the worst. But it would be which one's the worst, and if it were fixed, it would provide access to a larger number of people.
Mm.
That might be one way to take the survey results and say sidewalks are in bad shape and try to come up with a focus of a couple that the city could really work on improving. I mean, I think things take a lot of time, so all of the sidewalks on Union Street will be fixed.
I mean, I feel like
And then Main Street, there is a design
Yeah.
plan underway. So that, you know, we try to just build these projects. They may
Yeah.
take a long time, but Main Street will get fixed. Union Street will be fixed the soonest. And then what would we want to do next? What sidewalks would be the best to
I
focus
mean,
on?
I feel like we have this data. City council has looked at this data. Do you remember, I mean, the entire zone where we decided that people need to be masked because it's densely populated.
Yeah.
You know, that was a thing city council decided on. If it's densely populated, you know, enough to warrant, you know, if people are that close together, then that would indicate that, you know, the sidewalk is also widely enough used.
But I think something that we can look at to be more specific would be better. So like Liberty Street, you know, like if someone, whether it's the planner or the DBW director, just picks Liberty Street
Mhm.
by themselves.
Yeah.
And in reality, like Maple Street is a more
Yeah.
important sidewalk, then that would be the kind of more
Yeah,
specific data
that's true.
we
That's
should work on
That's-
as a group over the winter, because city council got an overwhelming sort of number of concerns, but no way to prioritize them. And if we're talking about sidewalks, that is like it is a tangible
Yeah.
thing that can
Yeah.
be fixed, but we just
Yeah.
can't fix all of them, especially all at once. So
yeah.
trying to come up with a list might be one thing.
So, Bobby, were you gonna say something?
I want a meeting here on Friday,
On Friday? Why?
at the end of the week.
You think the meeting should be on Friday?
What?
That's not on,
That's
well,
the
that,
end of the week.
yeah, we can,
I'm thinking about.
You've been thinking about it. That's-
okay.
Well, thank you.
Do you know any sidewalks that are really bad, Bobby? This is something
I
you
got one.
care about.
Sidewalk
What streets are bad?
is that way,
Right here.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
right here.
What else? Where else?
Right,
Main Street,
Yeah.
And what's the what?
right here
right near
meaning,
my
sorry,
street,
right here meaning Williston, or right here meaning?
right near my house.
Oh,
Right near Chapman Ave, around that
Chapman
area.
Ave, yeah,
okay.
Chapman's up the one up on Union.
right,
Yeah.
That's Chapman.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chapman Ave is that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Every other,
So Jeff Bag, what kind of rules are there about like how sidewalks are constructed? Like, do we have to construct sidewalks the way that we do according to some law?
you could have,
We
Uh,
have a policeman talk about that, cause I'd like to have them come to speak up about that, what that means,
What?
about the traffic. Cause I want to listen to the, yeah.
that's a good idea.
And I mean,
Listen to them about that.
the reason I'm asking is because like, you know, so
That's a
like
good point.
during the pandemic, someone decided that there should be
Good
this
point.
like barrier separated bikeway right on Williston Ave, and it just happened.
Yeah,
And there's nothing really that would prevent that kind of construction from being used as a sidewalk in my mind. And it seems like it'd be a lot quicker and a lot cheaper, and we could, right?
Louise?
Yeah. I was gonna ask you, talking about, sidewalks permanently, which I sympathize with. What about the snow and ice. And one reason I'm asking this, that I'm trying to make up, is Holyoke Street and now Union Street, are they going to have those curved curbs that mean that when it goes icy overnight, or when it doesn't, the water goes into the street or it gets backed up on the curbs? Am I making sense to anybody?
A specific type of drainage you're talking about on the sidewalks?
I'm talking about a specific type of curb that leads to drainage. And like most of Easthampton seems to have those really squared off, really high square things. I would point out that for pedestrians and anybody using the sidewalk, it pushes the water back onto the sidewalk and then overnight it freezes. Versus, Jeff might be able to help those sort of, I think there's a name for them, and I tried to raise it with my counselor, but I didn't know. There's these rounded things made, curbs made of the asphalt. That helps water. Yeah. Are there technical terms for this at least, or?
There may be, but I don't know. I don't know what they are. I mean, the commission has talked about this before. I mean, Union Street design is already done. I mean, it was done in 2018 and we're in construction in 2023. So it should be meeting the accessibility requirements. So I think one thing, Eli, I can actually answer is there are requirements for where a sidewalk meets a road.
Yeah.
So they have to be a certain steepness and they have to have the tactile pads. That's kind of required. And then the width of a sidewalk can vary. So I don't think there's anything absolutely set in stone about the width.
You know.
But then it's just a whole bunch of different factors. So the Williston Ave example was just a temporary idea. So it was intended to be temporary to show that there could be bicycle and pedestrian access to the high school. But then to construct a permanent sidewalk there would be, it's involved. It's just, everything is really expensive. So you'd have to dig up the road, you'd have to build a curb, you have to have someone design it first, and then you have to get funding for it. So it's just, it's unfortunately, it's just a lot more complicated to, especially build a new sidewalk. Repairing existing sidewalks is probably one of the easiest things that could be a focus, is to find, I think when the meeting first started, there was a sidewalk mentioned by the library. So if there could be a list of sidewalks that exist that need to be fixed or repaired or crumbling or in like really bad disrepair, that might be the most efficient thing to accomplish, is repairing those.
Right.
And if I ask the public that and they talk about bushes getting in the way again, is that the DPW that cuts them? Or no, it would depend, right?
Yeah,
It's
it kind
private
of depends. I
property.
mean, I think the survey was good because it identified a big problem, but it didn't identify specific sidewalks, as far as I understood the survey results.
But
And
yeah,
so that kind of is one of the next tasks, is for potentially this group and with some help to identify some of the worst sidewalks that could be fixed.
right.
There's some stuff I can probably try to provide. In 2015, the planning department did a sidewalk inventory. So that is available. And then we have something called a complete streets plan, which is 2019. And that is also a list of road and sidewalk improvements.
Right.
And we need to update that soon, but that would be a document we could look through and find what's on a list already, what's in really bad shape, and then is there a way to at least upgrade them or fix
Yeah.
them?
Well, for example, like, is there a rule that says a sidewalk has to have a curb?
I don't know if I can answer that. I mean, if you're adjacent to a roadway, for a pedestrian, the curb is a safety item. It's not the best thing, but it's commonplace for there to be a curb. But I don't know if it's an exact rule, Eli. I don't know.
I think I'm following your train of thought, Eli. What are the logistics of adding temporary bike lanes to things just to separate a car-free earmark a car's free space. I mean, it's, you know, it's not perfect, but paint is better than nothing. If the sidewalks are not usable. Is that kind of where you were going?
Yeah, well, also, I mean, so with the thing they built on Williston Ave, it wasn't just paint. There were it was a row of bollards too.
Okay.
So like, you know, is that a sufficient barrier, right? In place of a curb, right? Would that be a way that we could make and maintain more sidewalks more cheaply, right?
Well, yes, you know, there's always a conversation there. I mean, the Wilson Ave one, was just construction cones and paint. So it was not any kind of protective barrier. I think the commission really needs to hone in on, are you talking about bicycles? Are you talking about pedestrians? Are you talking about trying to support people who
I'm talking about,
may need additional support in terms of,
so,
you know, mobility devices or things like that? I think you guys gotta really focus in on what is the most important thing. The bike lane, I'll just stop in a second, but you know, everyone hated it. We got so many letters opposing that bike lane, and it was temporary. And then the critical thing was that it narrowed the road too much for drivers. So for a project that was supposed to last a couple of months, we got 100 letters and we took it out because people were opposed to it. And
so I would say, so one, it wasn't just cones. There were something buried in the ground, but they had to grind out when they removed it. And I'm not talking about bike lanes because personally I think bike lanes often have a lot of problems with them. But I'm talking about sidewalks, but building them in a different way, in a way that, you know, I mean, because the idea is just, a sidewalk is a space where we want to somehow put up a barrier to motor traffic, right? At the edge of the roadway. And, I'm just saying, like, is there a cheaper way to do it? And can we use the way we construct bike lanes as a model for that?
it's a conversation piece. I mean, we don't really have enough resources to even fix the sidewalks we have. So, I mean, I think we're trying to repair sidewalks where we can. It's unfortunately tied usually to grant funding sources. So it's like Union Street's going to be completely redone. At least those sidewalks will be wider and they'll meet ADA requirements at every driveway and road. And then Main Street is in design now. So that's the one where there's still opportunity for input. And then we just try to do the sidewalks we can when there's opportunity. So building new sidewalks is really a challenge. There's way more design work that goes into it. Repairing it, I think trying to find something that could be repaired, I think would be a meaningful effort.
Right, okay.
Anything more on that issue?
One thing, Jeff, is it would be great, it would be great in addition to a survey if we, it seems like we need a process for people to be squeaky when they want to be squeaky, because I don't think surveys, people are always systematic about, I want to fill out a survey, but it would be great if people just knew where to email to complain about snow or bushes, or just have some email accessibility at easthampton.mass.gov, and that would essentially.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it for a while. If you're in a private business and there's an accessibility issue or any kind of discrimination, it is the state office of mass disability that gets contacted. It's not the city. For snow removal, we did the PSA. Whether or not it's the best, if there's an unplowed sidewalk, people have to call the police department.
Yeah. Well,
and,
I get
those are the systems that we currently have that we trying to use those first before because creating another one. There are a couple ways for people to address some of the
Yeah,
So I think the Union Street construction one is interesting because it's not clear how to handle that.
yeah,
That one, I think would be good on the agenda next time, and I would like to see if we can get someone from DPW here. I mean, it's Mass DOT,
Yeah.
but the city does have some people
yeah.
overseeing it.
Okay.
And my biggest concern with Union Street is we're not really close to done yet. So this construction is going to go through all next summer, various different aspects of it.
Yeah,
So I think having some understanding of what that looks like and what to do if there is an issue that someone encounters, because that will be something that we should probably come up with a plan.
yeah. So Jeff Brown, yeah, so this was, I think, something I don't know if I said it or I was just thinking it, but yeah, like, it would be better, because when you're filling out a survey, you don't necessarily think of everything that you would have thought of at another time, right? And it would be nice to have an easy way to just send in a comment.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
When you think of it, and, especially if it was in a way where it was attached to a map and you could see other people's comments and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, we have our email address, but
Yeah, maybe our email address should be on stickers around town, on telephone poles and stuff. That could be, stickers are cheap to make.
Yeah, and without feeling like you're making a big deal of something, right?
Yeah.
You don't want people to have I want to speak to a manager about, this sidewalk, right? You want to be able to just kind of send in a quick comment, right? And not feel like you're making a big deal about it.
No,
You know,
that's good.
okay. And I'm glad you brought up the PSA. I should have put it on the agenda, but it can go under new business. We should be putting it up.
I think soon, yeah.
Yeah, because we already had snow. That was a surprise.
And I would just, it's just to reiterate, I mean, I think we talked to the police department. They were willing to at least create a log for someone who calls for a property a sidewalk that's not been cleared of snow. We should try to encourage people to do that this year.
Right.
They did agree to put a specific code for
Yes,
that?
that was my understanding. But
Okay.
they have the authority, they have the responsibility to respond to those. And so what we heard, my recollection was that if they get a call, they will go and look. And if they can make contact with the property owner, they'll knock on the door and they'll say, look, you're supposed to clear your sidewalk.
Interesting.
And then what we need to track is the repeat offenders.
Right.
So that someone calls for 3 snowstorms in a row and then that person might actually get a fine or something, or get that sidewalk cleared of snow. So I think this could be a good winter to try it. We didn't get that much snow last winter.
Right.
So,
Anyway, that's why when I lived in Easthampton,
Yeah.
I stayed home half the time because
Yeah.
our driveway, my cousin,
Yeah, you said your driveway.
he's the one that owns the apartment with his mom.
Yeah.
His brother came to shovel out the driveway,
Yeah.
but sometimes that he couldn't, I would have to stay home.
Right.
Yeah.
Good point.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Jeff Bag, one more
yes,
question.
I have to go because I have another meeting at 12, but.
Yeah.
Okay,
take your-
really quick. So I've noticed that they've been covering parts of the sidewalks with blacktop. Do you know what that is for?
On Union Street,
Yeah, on Union Street and, yeah.
It's-
Yeah, up here.
again, I can try to explain what I understand is that they're replacing all the underground utility. All the utilities underground are being replaced kind of in up the street based on the location.
Mhm.
So they have to dig stuff up. They replace the underground utilities, and I think it's their effort
Right there.
to at least not leave it dirt. So they're at least putting the blacktop
Oh,
there, so it's a stable,
Over here.
some kind of stable surface.
I see. Okay,
Just, and I think
Oh,
we're kind of looking at it over here, and I think for the roadway work every Friday, they are paving the areas of the road that they disturb so that it's over the weekend, it's actually like a paved surface rather than just dirt, mud, pothole. But I think that's what we should ask about at the next meeting, is to find out if that's gonna be just the condition all winter. Make sure that if that is the condition all winter, that it is meeting an ADA requirement. Because I don't know that they're gonna have a good answer for temporary disturbances.
Yeah.
But if they pave certain sidewalks and then they walk away for 2 months, you know, that would be a really good question to make sure that they've looked at whether the ramp grade is appropriate or not. I don't have answers to those questions, but I think they're good questions to ask.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last thing is just the PTSD subcommittee, which we need more people for. And for those that don't know what it is, it's just going to be a panel of people that have been through various, I don't want to say it, may have a diagnosis of PTSD for different reasons, and then the appropriate mental health coordinator. And most people feel like PTSD, it has to do with being in the military and have gone to war, and that's just not the reality. So we can go into more detail in the future about that. And then the only other thing was talking about handicap spaces being blocked.
Yeah. Talked about that.
So I know you wanted it put on this agenda, but when you say that we had public speak, was it just these folks here, or was it
Yeah.
somebody else? Okay.
David
Yeah.
spoke for public
Okay.
speak.
I did.
Okay.
And everybody chimed in because it was messy, and now we have to figure out how to get back over there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Let's hope they don't shut the water off and make us go home again. That was a nightmare.
Aw.
Remember that day, Jeff?
I
Where
wasn't
we
there
were-
when you had to go home. I was there when we were closed because the water was
Yeah.
off.
That
Or
was the thing.
I was not there when we were closed, actually, to be more accurate.
I
Got
had to
it.
go home.
Now, did you post the minutes in from 2 meetings ago?
No, because I didn't do the minutes because I don't have them here.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you don't need them, no, from, cause when you sent them to me,
Oh.
not from last meeting, the meeting before. Where
Oh,
we
okay.
didn't put the names in by accident.
Oh, okay. Well, if you want to do that vote now, we can do that.
So is there anybody that opposes the minutes that I sent out? I know, Luis, we are missing the names, so thank you. We always put them in, we just forgot or something this time, so, I'm going to vote to approve them. Can I have a second?
I,
Okay,
Aye.
great. So
Aye.
anybody object to it?
Yeah.
No
No.
objections.
No
No.
objections. I knew what he meant.
Why you
All right,
talk
great. We'll
about
vote
that?
them in. And then
No, we got some.
the only other thing is the date for the next meeting. I think it's December 7th at
Oh.
11.
It can't be, because that's the first.
I think it's,
Yeah. Thank you. December 14th. Thank you. My gosh, these tiny little numbers. December 14th. Yeah. Okay. And is there anything anybody wants to talk about before we close?
Are they all Thursdays?
They are.
Yeah, so we do it on the second Thursday of the month at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
okay.
Do you have any questions about the commission?
What do you mean?
Or
What does
actually,
that
that could
word
be after
mean?
we,
If you we're just have open time right now in case anybody.
What does that word mean?
about the commission.
So this is the
Oh my God.
commission on disability.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Yeah, so a commission just means like
Don't worry.
is like a committee. It's like a group of, a group of people who are assigned to work on a particular thing.
It's just a fancy word.
Yeah, just a fancy word
Good job.
for the
It's a
commission.
fancy word, right?
No other things? Stan, is there anything you want to talk about or?
Not right now, no.
Okay. All right. We can wrap it up then. So motion
Yeah.
to adjourn. And anybody have a problem with ending the meeting?
No problem.
Great. All right, perfect. Thank you, everybody, for
Maybe I
coming.
can-
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.